Banana Joe. Sorry. Sorry. Giovanna,
I know
you
it
doing
throws me off every time too.
I know. Are you doing okay, Giovanna? So that was good. But getting back to Millie's dresses, I'm thinking of doing it in some bright colors because I'm actually going to do it as a charity quilt. I'm going to sew it together with you and Deb and Rowena. Good morning, Melanie. So I'm going to do it in some bright colors. Hi, Rhonda. How are you? Um, and I'm not going to put that border on it that it's calling for. So I'm going to kind of adjust that pattern. And I'm going to use scraps to get it done.
Well, I was going to switch.
Let me make you bigger. So
I was going to switch this border to just a regular border until I found that fat eight that I got at Missouri Star. So now I'm going back to that. I keep changing my mind on it.
I think I'm going to do a piano border with the excess fabric from the fabrics I'm going to use for the dresses.
Oh, yeah.
And I was telling Deb before we went live that generally when I make my charity quilts, I send them away because I've been unsuccessful in locating any place in my part of the world that accepts charity quilts. But I did receive a response from a church that's about 30 minutes away who serves the community, and they accept new quilts, new handmade quilts. And so that is going to be my charity project for next year, is donating all my charity quilts to them. So it kind of stays in the community, and I'm not shipping it off to Missouri or Texas or wherever it may be. So what are y'all working on? I'm going to put the link in. You are allowed to have bedhead and everything else if you want to come up. Hey, Joe.
Yeah, I haven't even brushed mine today. I've run my fingers through it, but that's about it.
And I am taking Ugly Fat Quarters. If you haven't seen Rob's latest video, Quilting in the Man Cave, he was requesting kennel quilts for displaced dogs in shelters right now. Displaced animals, dogs and cats, I would say, in animal shelters. Oh, here comes Giovanna.
Hi.
Good morning, Giovanna. How are you?
I'm fine, thanks.
But he was requesting. Huh?
I've been busy doing laundry because the sun came out.
Oh, okay. You hang your laundry out?
Yeah, I use solar drying.
Oh, okay. You hang.
Sorry.
Yep, we are international now. Hi, Andrea.
Yeah, Mike better get his tushy on here as well. As Debbie says.
Oh, Brenda's playing with her long arm. She's ready to load a real quilt. That's exciting. Good morning, Jess.
Mike is sick. Sorry, no to.
Melanie, you were contemplating. Were you talking about Rob's thing? I have a whole bunch of fabric that is just not something I'm going to put in a quilt, and I have a whole bunch of scrap batting for where I quilt. So I'm going to make some franking batting, and I'm going to send some quilts. There is a humane society that requested kennel quilts, and it is in the area close to where my daughter lives that received a lot of destruction from the floods. So that's what I'm going to be working on today.
Those people got worse than I did, and I was complaining. And really, I'm sorry for them.
Yeah, there's some areas that were hit really, really hard, and I'm really surprised at how far, how far Tennessee and South Carolina, North Carolina, the damage. And Florida is expecting another storm, and it's
Yeah,
going to be on the Panhandle, and it's going to be areas that already received damage as well. So Susan Munger, I'm thinking of you. If you watch the replay, I'm thinking of you. If you need anything, you let me know. Because it seems like Susan always is in the path of the storms. What did Joe say?
She sent a few baby quilts to Just for Kids.
Is that the one in Texas? I think that's the one I sent to too, if it's the one in Texas
yeah.
or
Well,
something.
by the way, what we got was a hurricane as well, which is very, very rare in Europe.
Mm-hmm. Well,
It hit the UK.
Isn't it Kirk? Is it Kirk that is out there that there's supposed to be like some tropical storms? Because he's out in the Atlantic right now, and I thought they said that he was supposed to be impacting parts of France.
Yeah,
So I haven't seen I haven't seen the most updated one.
because if it gets to France, it gets to England as well, to the UK, because they're so close together.
Okay, Joe. And Mom Andrea finished her butterfly quilt and her build a quilt her vet quilt for build a quilt. Great job. Um
Yeah, power bank
Leslie
would
going to
go
hit
to
Florida.
power
So
bank.
just your church is heading up to the Carolinas or to Tennessee tomorrow? Or I'm not sure where they're going.
Why
Yeah,
do they
it's
call female names? I don't understand that.
well, they actually have some male names. When we were hit by a hurricane, I think it was 6 years ago, on my side, the one that actually impacted my area, which was really weird. Because it was a I think it was a 2 when it hit me, and that's just unusual coming that far upland. His name was Michael. So Michael, I mean, we were without power for over a week. We were without water, and that was just strange. It took me at the time I was working away from the home outside in an office, and my normal commute was 30 minutes. It took me an hour and a half to drive to work
Wow.
because I had to go and take detours to get to work. So it was an additional 3 hours of just driving to get to work, to and back from work.
That's
Yeah, Milton is in the Gulf. Yeah, Michael was really, really bad. It caused so much destruction. So much destruction. And there are places that you can drive down in the South that never recovered fully from Michael. I mean, you can just see a path, and it's got new growth of pine trees and stuff, but you can still see the path, and there were several tornadoes that came out of that. That was just horrible.
last year. I think it was last year that Robin from RS Island Craft got hit badly also by a hurricane. I don't know what the name was. but
Mm-hmm.
she 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 had to sell her house because it was
Mm-hmm.
it's, uh, yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Just do you mind emailing me when sometime this morning or while we're on this live, please? I just need some information from you.
I love your quilt behind you.
Oh, my
In the
little build a quilt. I've got my clouds up there. I still have to applicate the letters on. I was gonna free motion quilt the letters on, but I think I'm just gonna do a traditional applique on it.
where do you get the letters from?
My husband cut the letters for me. Hold on. So we had decided on the show that I was gonna do 2-inch letters, and my husband he's in the sign business. So he cut me some 2-inch letters. I don't know if you can see that. Hold on. So he cut me some vinyl 2-inch letters, and then what I do is I just trim them out and I use it as a template. So I have I couldn't find my 2-inch letters that I had. And then I use it as a template for my whenever I use lettering in a quilt.
Andrea, I don't know how to turn the mic up. I have it always the same volume as usual.
Do you use an Apple or
Uh,
a Droid?
it's Android.
If you go to your search feature, whenever you get off of here, if you go to your little magnifying glass and you type in audio, it will bring or volume. Oh, Sheila. Oh, hi, Jean. Good morning. Is Susan in here?
Yes.
Good morning, Susan. I'm so sorry I missed you. I was just saying earlier that I'm thinking about you with that other hurricane, Milton, that's coming in. And Jean, yes.
I went and touched something and it went off.
Oh, that's okay. You might have a touchy one. I'm thinking
Yeah.
of all y'all in Florida.
Let me move so that no, I have to move this side so that I get rid of the sun at the at that.
Thanks, Jess. I think that any natural disaster, and this is just my personal opinion, any natural disaster is the scope is so big that it is very I think personally, I think people would be easy it would be easier to help each other if there wasn't so much government red tape. I know that when we had Michael here, it was really hard to volunteer, to help, to donate items. We had to get approved by the United Way. We actually had to do a training class to do anything. The only people that I think we ended up going with Samaritan's Purse because Samaritan's Purse does an on-site training. They give you a t-shirt and they allow you to go into these disaster areas to assist. But the United Way, I think it was like 8 hours worth of training before you could go in to help pick up debris. It's like,
Yep.
I've got a break. Just let me get in there.
The thing is,
Let
you
me
could get hurt. You could get
Huh?
hurt. That's why you have to be very careful. You could really get hurt if you put your foot wrong. Like
Mhm.
when we had all that mud. That mud was sticky and slippery at the same time. So you really have to be very careful how you walk.
Mhm.
And if you have a volunteer that gets hurt, it's not good.
Right. I think I don't know, it was a lot easier. My town is small, so it was a lot easier to help out because the focus wasn't on, like, the big towns that were impacted. So my town, we could just get out there with chainsaws and help each other. We just did it. We didn't care. We just got out there and helped each other and did what we needed to do. 'Cause
Yeah, in
we
fact,
have a lot of elderly people in our town, and we wanted to make sure that they were safe and had access. And of course, I'm kinda elderly myself, so, but
yeah,
it doesn't take
sure.
much to rake up leaves or pick up limbs and put it on the side. But yeah, Florida's fixing to get another thing, and then there is another storm, and I don't remember what storm that is. It's gonna bring riptides to the south, to the East Coast. So you gotta be careful of all those riptides and the waves, the extra waves.
Yeah, the tsunami waves. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, Susan. It must be really devastating losing a house, everything that you had.
Well, Susan, how is your mom doing? Is she okay with your sister? I know she's gonna miss her house. It's always hard to be displaced. And then I was watching several people had referred me to other quilting channels that had you know, they were impacted. They either lost their house or a lot of um damage. You're tentatively getting your hip surgery on December 16th during Christmas vacation. Well, we'll be praying for you because first that your recovery goes well and your occupational therapy goes well, but that you will feel fabulous after it and it will help.
Yeah,
I'm so sorry, Susan. I know that it has to be tough. I know.
yeah. Photos are very difficult to lose. Memories.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, just getting out of the sad news. What do we for those of us who can quilt? Oh, yesterday, as a side note, we went up to this little town after the town where they did the Civil War reenactment is really small, and there was only so much you could do. So we went to this Amish bakery that was about 15 minutes away, and they have the best bread. They bake all their items early in the morning, and they have the best bread. And I got some fresh sourdough bread and stuff. But they also have a little antique shop off the side, and in that antique store, they sell homemade jellies and jams and, canned items or jarred items. But they had 4 antique sewing machines in there, 4 antiques, and all the grandkids were running around saying, "Meemaw, you need to buy this one because you don't have that one. Meemaw, you need to buy this one." I'm like, "I don't need those sewing machines." But, yeah, the kids were looking for any sewing items, and they were like, "Meemaw, get this. Meemaw, buy that one. Oh, come here, Meemaw, look at this. You would like this in your sewing room." And I'm thinking, I
Yeah,
got the kids I got the grandkids trained to go look for sewing antiques for me.
yeah,
Oh, and then, they saw one sewing machine, and I think the sewing machine was from the 1980s. "Oh, this must be really old. This must be from when you were a baby." And I'm thinking, "How far away do you think 1980 was?" Yeah, kids are hilarious.
40 years ago. Yep. Now, Lisa, how old are you that you're old?
Well, I'm 59. I'll be 60 next year. Rebecca, what link are you looking for? Deb, you're awful quiet.
Yeah,
You're doing a lot of talking.
Okay. I'll stop. I'll stop.
We want the
No,
giggles.
no,
I
no,
hope you
no.
don't mind. You don't mind that I call you Giggles the chat.
Huh?
No, I
No,
call Deb Giggles. I say
I
hi,
used to
Giggles.
be called that a lot.
Yeah.
You can call Debbie. You can call Deb
They
anything.
started calling me that on Debbie's channel.
Oh, Giggles.
Yeah.
You know, the
Yeah.
funny thing is, one of my best friends in high school, my nickname for her was Giggles.
I've had a few nicknames.
Well, several people have called me some names too. We just won't share that on air.
Mine is or Joe or Banana Joe, and that's it.
Susan, well, happy early birthday. Happy early birthday. 1984. Is that when you, Mike? Well, you weren't born in 1984. You were, what, 10 years old in 1984? Yeah.
Tell us your nicknames apart from Charles.
Who, my nicknames or Mike's nickname?
Mike. He says he had
Yep.
a few nicknames.
Yeah, because you're 10 years, you a baby. You're 10 years older than my daughter. You can't quite be my son, but you're 10 years older than my daughter.
Y'all are just babies.
Yeah.
Mike, I couldn't say my nicknames in this crowd either. They would ban me.
Well, I can say mine. When I was a teenager, it was Pistons. I'm sure you can imagine why. Because I was running down the street to catch up with my friends, and they turned around, and one of them said, "It's Pistons." Because my boobs were.
Yeah. Come on.
So that stuck with me all the way up through junior high and high school. And then in high school, my core group of friends started calling me D. And it was D, Pete, and Beanie. That was the three of us.
Hi, Salsa.
Good morning, Zaza.
You guys are funny. I feel like I'm dragging. I really felt drunk this morning.
And then I don't remember when I got started calling Giggles. Well, when I first created my email address and everything, I used to call myself Magic Giggles.
Mm-hmm.
Magic being spelled the right way and giggles, and it was all together. And then I left that husband and I needed to change my name, so I just flipped him and I did Giggles Magic with the magic spelled the right way. And then after I got remarried, that's when I changed it to Giggles Magic with the J instead of the G.
Bye, Jess.
So I've been Giggles Magic for a long time. Bye, Jess. Have fun.
Well, I will be celebrating my 30-something anniversary this month. And hopefully I won't be in Alabama on my anniversary.
Why Alabama?
Oh, I was told last minute that I have to go to a conference, a training conference. Well, I don't even know what dates yet. All I know is that it's going to be the week of my anniversary, but have not received any information or anything. And so I'll be in Montgomery, Alabama, sometime during the week of the 21st.
Have you seen what
And
Andrea called her nicknames?
oh,
They're
Andrea Bubbles, Twinkle Toes, Lady Firefly, and Cheeks.
those
I
are
would like
very
to know what's behind Cheeks.
that was
Thank you, Susan. Well, Zaza, so here's the thing, is that it is I have no information about it. I just know where we're going and where we're going. I don't have dates. And my husband just cannot take off like that. He has to give them some notice. And so he can't take off that. And then I would have to coordinate with my daughter to see if my daughter could stay house sit for me because I have my dogs and my dogs need, I can't leave my dogs alone. And my dogs do not go to the kennel. They stay home.
Yeah, dogs are different from cats. Cats are easier to leave at
Yep.
home by themselves.
Well, my German Shepherd, he has a set pattern. He can stay outside all day, but he comes in to take his afternoon nap, and then he comes in and he's used to sleeping on our bed, going to sleep with us. He does a perimeter check, and then he goes to bed with us, and then sometime early in the morning, he wants to go out to just kind of hang out with the other dog. But I can't leave my fur babies I can't leave my
No,
babies alone. So it's just too last minute. Again, I don't have any information. It's too last minute for my daughter to come and house sit with the grandkids and then have my husband take off. So I'm actually going with a male coworker. I talked a male staff to go with me because I do not want to travel by myself. And there's two of us that need to go anyway. So I'm actually going off with a male coworker, which is but I tried. I asked my husband, I said, "You can go, and then we could hang out and go look for quilt shops." He said, "Yeah, that's the way I want to spend my anniversary is looking for quilt shops."
yeah, sure.
Susan, I do not know how to hand quilt. Well, I lie. If you're talking about hand quilting, I do know how to hand quilt. I do not like to hand quilt. It is really, really rough on my hands. So the only way I quilt is on my domestic machine.
Yeah, I can
But I
Jean
do
understand.
is
not
the one that does hand quilting.
Yeah, Jean does hand quilting.
And
I just
Donnell has started doing some.
slow stitching. Yeah,
Yeah.
but I
Why do
can't.
they call it why do they call it slow stitching?
I think because it takes so forever to stitch.
Yeah, but it is hand stitching.
No, it hurts my hands. My hands, I get a few, I might be able to get like 10 stitches in, and my hands start cramping.
Hmm.
Yeah, that happens to mine as well. In fact, I on the 19th
So,
I have to have um,
so I
um
don't even
e-
do it.
an echo down on my hand because my thumb is killing me all the time.
Are you having carpal tunnel syndrome
No,
surgery?
it's not. It's not carpal tunnel. It is arthritis in the thumb because
Oh,
it's only the thumb.
Uh,
The carpal tunnel hurts even the middle finger, and that doesn't hurt. So I have to have it. I had X-ray done, and it shows arthritis, but then now I have to also have a echo done on it to see the nerves.
The easiest way I found to hand quilt, it's still really slow, is on a hoop. To take a section and put it on a hoop so that
Yeah.
way everything is long, and it takes the pressure of holding the material off your hand, but it's not something I enjoy very much. I mean, if it's gonna be painful, it's not you don't enjoy it, but that's the only way I've ever been able to hand quilt, and I used to sew everything by hand. I used to sew clothes way back in the day by hand before I had a sewing machine. It's just
Yeah,
I just can't do it anymore. I'm on the computer keyboard all day that my hands are just too sore to quilt with and it's like,
when
I'm kind of like, "Can we just get it done now?" It shouldn't take me 6 months
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
I
when I
I don't
used
want
to do clothes making, and in clothes making there is techniques that you have to, if you want to do it personalized, you have to
Mhm.
hand stitch everything first,
Yeah.
and then you machine stitch it. But it takes forever.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
I wouldn't do it.
I like watching those sewing competitions that they have, where they're making those outfit the runway, like Project Runway. I enjoy watching it, and I enjoy watching some of the more experienced people sit there and actually hand sew an outfit or a piece of but I just can't do it. Good morning, Judy. How are you? Rebecca Touched by Yarn said, I embroidered 3 quilt patterns in cross stitch, then I hand quilted that queen size bed top in 11 months from start to finish. See, that wouldn't be
Oh,
enjoyable to me.
oh, Rebecca, I commend you on doing that because
Yeah.
I just can't.
Well, I tried embroidery, remember? I bought the kits and everything a couple months
I
ago.
got I got kits right
Yeah.
there in that little thingy.
I used
Oh
to
my
cross
oh my gosh, I bought kits. I said, I'm going to embroider because I think several months ago Deb showed this book that had these stitches and everything. I said, I'm going to do
Yeah,
embroidery. And I tried it and I gave everything to my daughter. I said, you
I
can have it.
tried it. I got the book. I got all the floss. I got everything I needed, and I started in, and it wasn't even 5 minutes, and this hand was cramping. So I'm like, well, and I ripped it all out. And I'm
Yeah,
like, I need to give this to
people
somebody that will actually do it.
yeah, I gave mine. Good morning, Rita. I gave mine to my daughter because she likes little projects to work on when she's at work. And 911 is not very busy, so she'll sit there and she'll work on those little projects, and I just give it to her. She doesn't have to buy things. She just waits till her mama invests in something and decide that she don't like it, and then she knows that she's going to benefit. It's like I gave her all my crochet stuff, all my hooks, all my yarns, and everything else, because
I
the
used to
crocheting hurt my hands too.
Yeah, I used to crochet a lot. I used to make uh, doll dresses with crochet and sell them.
So Rebecca said that if you look at her banner, you can see that quilt. Oh, okay. Rebecca, drop your link. It is exclamation be kind, and your link should come up. Yeah, I think Sundays is Donnell's slow stitching day, isn't it? Doesn't Donnell do slow stitching on
Yeah,
Sundays?
I
yeah,
think
she does.
so.
Mm-hmm.
That's straight after your live, and then just before Donna's. in between. I think it is.
No, I think it's the other way. I think it's Donna and then Donnell, because Donnell goes 10 o'clock here and Donna goes 9 o'clock.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
But yeah, I haven't sewn in a couple days anyway.
I haven't sewn in forever. Apart
Well,
from
you.
fixing things for my daughter, because she
Mm-hmm.
can't sew her life. So, and she doesn't do crafting or anything. She can draw, but she doesn't like crafting. She's a gamer.
My grandson is a gamer. I think he was going through withdrawal yesterday. He, he's just at that age, and he kept asking me, "Mima, when are we going to go home? When are we going to go home?" And I said, "Aren't you enjoying yourself?" He goes, "Yes, but when are we going home?" And his friends were texting him, "When you going to get on? When are you going to get on the Xbox?
Yeah, yeah.
When are you going to?" And I said, "Just mute your phone, and tell your friend that you're spending family time." You know.
All the time while you're there, if you're enjoying yourself. Yeah,
Mhm.
that my daughter doesn't do. She's a bit older, I suppose,
Mhm.
and when she has to work, she works. When she has to go to school, because she started going back to school to finish
Mhm.
the last year to get her diploma.
Oh, her
Mhm.
thing's not gonna work because she's on my channel. I'm gonna drop her
Oh,
link.
okay. Hold
Yeah,
on.
I
Let me
had to
see.
go. I was on Deb's channel. I had to get off it and come on
I got
your
it.
channel.
You got it? Okay.
I got her.
Okay. Sorry about that. And I know, Rebecca, you can't see all the chat, but Deb did drop your link and I'm interested in seeing that. Thanks, Deb.
Sure.
And we've got deer running, so you have to be careful with the deer now. Oh, she's trying again, poor baby. Rebecca, Deb dropped your link and you can't see it because you're on. Well, no, she can see it on your channel.
No, it's not showing.
Okay,
Oh, where
now
do
I
you?
am. I just subscribed to Rebecca.
Rebecca, it's showing on.
Here.
Let's see if I can grab it,
Here I got it again.
Okay.
There we go.
I'll go and check it out later.
All right.
See more.
Oh gosh, I
Okay.
spelled her name wrong.
It's
The link
okay.
is right. I just spelled her name wrong.
And I think it takes about 24 hours. So if you're just planning on catching the link, the comments do not come up. It takes about 24 hours for the comments to catch up with the video.
Sometimes
So
I've
if
seen other channels have the comments come up straight away. I don't understand why YouTube does that.
well, I'm wondering what platform they use.
Ah, okay.
Yeah. Thanks, Judy. So what are y'all cooking good for? What are y'all cooking good for lunch or supper today?
We're having the leftovers from dinner last night.
You know what my
Yes.
supper was last night? It was brownies. I did a Mona thing. Mona might have gone back to bed. She just did it earlier. But I had brownies for supper.
Yeah, we had beef with carrots and potatoes in.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Yeah,
my daughter.
I had brownie because we spent so much money on it was $13 at the fair. It was $13 for just hamburgers and a hamburger and a French fry, and then
Wow.
the drink was $5.
Wow.
Yeah, it
That's
was
a
a
lot.
little expensive, and you know them kids, they get out whenever you go someplace, the first thing we wanna do is eat, because 'cause you're someplace different. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Melanie's grilling steak. I'm having steak today too. I have to use up some of the meat in my freezer. Chicken parm for dinner.
What
Boys
is
and
that?
girlfriends are coming. Oh, I love chicken parm, Joe. Mm.
What is
Good
what
morning,
is the
Jim.
what is the recipe of chicken parm?
What I think it is more like it's pretty much like veal parm, except with chicken.
Yeah, but I don't know what the parm is.
I think the parm is just like um breading, and then it's got a tomato sauce,
Mhm.
tomato-based sauce. Is that correct? Tomato-based sauce, and then you have pasta. You generally have pasta with it.
It has Parmesan cheese too. That's why it's parm.
Ah, okay, okay.
Parm is cheese and melted mozzarella in New York City. Parm is good. I like parm. I like fresh parm.
Yeah,
I
some
put
Zaza's
I put Parmesan cheese. I sprinkle that on mine. I mean, I
um
use the other cheese too, but
mhm.
in the little breading top on the top of the cheese, I put a little bit of breadcrumbs and Parmesan cheese. I mix that together and then sprinkle that over the cheese.
Lots of yummy cheese and homemade sauce cooking for 6 hours. Now that's what I'm talking about. And
wow.
Zaza is having Chinese takeaway.
Yum. This is
Yeah,
Mhm.
all yum.
yeah.
Yeah, I paid $10 for a bowl of fried rice yesterday at this, fair, and all it is, the fried rice that comes in the frozen section, and they cook it, but I didn't want a hamburger, so I paid $10 for a small bowl of fried rice, and my oldest
That's
grandson
ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
ate my fried rice, and I refused to spend another $10 for another small bowl. Italian grandmother recipe, that sounds good. My husband does not like chicken parm, and he does not like, he likes spaghetti, but he's not a big a lasagna eater too, but I love chicken parm from a good restaurant, not from one of those chain stores. Like, I won't go to what is what is that Italian chain store that I never go to, and you get all the Olive Garden. Oh, that's horrible. Olive Garden is horrible. Good morning, Joyce.
Joe,
Good
you should
morning.
try. You guys, if you love Parmesan cheese, you should try this
Mhm,
recipe. It is called passatelli.
mhm,
It is with breadcrumbs, but the breadcrumbs has to be without oil. The bread has to be cooked without oil,
mhm,
and you let it dry and you make breadcrumbs, and then you the Parmesan grated cheese and an egg or two eggs.
mhm,
It depends on the amount you're making, and then you make it into a pasta and
mhm,
you let it sit for a while. Then you cook your soup, chicken or beef soup, whatever you want, without anything in it. Well, you cook it as a soup, and then you have to make a consomme out of it.
mhm,
You get your potato squeezer and you put this pasta in the potato squeezer and you squeeze it into the soup. Oh yes, you have to have also nutmeg in it. Otherwise it won't taste as good. And then once you put it in the boiling soup, it cooks instantly. So it's already cooked. And then you eat it
mhm.
as a soup. It is delicious.
Giovanna, I think you just need to come stateside and cook for us. You just need to cook for us.
Yeah, it is. When I came to Italy, that was my cousins, my father's cousins. We went for dinner for lunch on a Sunday, and they gave us that. It was cold, and I tell you, I fell in love with it 40 years ago, and I'm still in love with it now. It is one of the best foods that you can eat, especially when it's hot, when it's cold. It eats you up. It gives you energy. It gives you protein. It gives you
Hmm.
everything.
I like soups, but yeah, that I don't make lasagna. I used to make lasagna.
Yeah, I used to make it as well. I buy it from the store ready made, and then I make the white sauce apart so that I can
We
put together.
we don't have a Costco's. I'm have a Sam's, and the one brand in Sam's is not good, and everything is the Sam's brand anymore. And I try not to buy the Sam's brand.
I get it from Aldi, and it is good. Well, at least the one here in Italy is good.
Hmm. But I love me some pasta. I mean, I love me some pasta.
Hmm.
How's how you
My
spelled it
husband's
right?
hmm.
Ossobu. Mm.
I just love. Although I've been wanting oxtails here lately.
Oxtail is expensive here.
It's not so expensive over here. But I've been wanting some oxtails. Mm.
I had to throw a whole lot of a full bag of oxtails because of the flood. I was in the freezer. I couldn't salvage it. I could cook just a certain amount of what I had in the freezer because it was full. And I gave a
W-
lot to a friend of mine. She has a
Well,
big family.
when Michael hit us, and I know this is for all storm victims, is that when Michael hit us and we were without power for a long time, that we lost everything in our freezer, and they didn't the insurance would not reimburse us for food, any loss of food. Now, if our freezer had died, they would have reimbursed us for our freezer, but they did not reimburse us for food.
I would have broken the freezer. It would reimburse you for the freezer.
Yeah, so but it's the strangest thing. So you lose yeah, I just won't
Yeah,
even go
yeah,
there.
that's. But anyway, last year when we did have the flood last year, the electricity company for the two floods that we had, because it was 2 weeks difference from one from the other, they did reimburse us for the loss of electricity for the days, and that was like 1,000 euros I got from them,
Mhm.
which compensated for what I lost. I weighed it 20 kilos of food from the freezer.
We did
I don't
too,
know how.
and we grilled and we grilled, but there was just 2 of us, and there's only so much that you can eat, and you can't really
Exactly.
share it. Can't share it because everybody's trying to grill their food and take care, or by whatever means.
I did cook some, and then you know you can't refreeze meat when
Mhm.
it's but if you cook it, you can refreeze it because
Yeah.
the consistency is different. So I did do that with some of my meat, and I gave it to my friend when she could get here because we were without electricity, but the roads were free. They were able to come and pick up stuff. So that's where I saved some of my stuff.
Mike, they will not do it here for a natural disaster. If it was their fault that the electricity was down, but they won't do it for a natural disaster. And what my insurance company did, because I mean, our roof was gone and stuff like that. We had damage to our roof. But what our insurance adjuster did was compensated us a little higher in other areas to make up for that food loss, but they could not itemize it down as, oh, my daughter received power. Thank you for asking, Jim. My daughter received power 2 days ago. And so she's really excited. But now, after anybody who has been through a storm, when your power and your water is off for that long, there's spoilage, there's things that's going on in your house that you have to re-clean and redo. There's some smells in your house that you have to take care of. Um, and when she lost power, her animals are inside dogs as well. She can't let them roam free. And so, you have those lingering pet smells from not having power. But thank you for asking. The grandson's here another week because she is still having to work some extra hours during the
Wow.
cleanup and stuff. Salsa said we lost a freezer full of food because one of the kids left the door open the hottest day of the year. I spent cooking meat to refreeze. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, it was so funny. We all had our grills after the aftermath of hurricane. Every place you went, it smelled like barbecue.
You must have been sick of it at the end.
I think you just kind of do what you have to do. The worst part about it was there because there's no air conditioning and it was warm that November, and that was a late storm. It was warm, so you couldn't sleep well. I mean, you could open the windows, but there's no breeze or anything, the humidity, so you were more tired than anything else because you just weren't getting sleep. I mean, it got dark, so you went to sleep at 6 o'clock because there's nothing to do.
Yeah. Yeah.
Good
Especially
morning, Joy T.
pizza. Hello, Joyty.
Yeah, Melanie, after Katrina, anytime you have, because you're trying to save whatever you can and sharing whatever you can. And one of the worst things, I shouldn't say one of the worst things, but losing your food, that's a high cost to replace. And you don't, if you have steaks or anything, ribs or anything in your freezer, you just don't want those items to go to waste.
Can't you
So
can them?
my dogs ate well too, because
They must have got
they
fat. Can those things? I have never tried. I've canned the sugo sauce, the pasta sauce, the meat one. That I've done.
Rita, that was here earlier on Deb's channel, she has canned beef before. No, I have never canned beef. I'm afraid to, but I'm not that great of a canner anyway. But Rita has canned beef, and I think that there are other places that have farms and they do a lot of YouTube channels. They show how to can meat. I don't know what that would be like.
I've never ever tasted pickled eggs. I've seen people making them, but I've never tasted it. I
Pickled
would like,
eggs?
yeah, pickled eggs.
Deb eats them all the time.
Do
I
you
have a
make them yourself?
pickle every day for lunch.
No, pickled eggs. You
Well,
eat
pickled
pickled.
eggs, yeah.
Yep.
Do you make them yourself or do you buy it?
I buy them.
Okay.
I don't make anything by scratch much anymore.
Yeah, you don't get that.
Rebecca has canned venison. Now, I have seen people can venison. They do can venison down here because they hunt over here they do go deer hunting. Now, I've heard of that. I have just I'm lazy. I'm lazy. I'll blanch my stuff and put it in the freezer, before I can it. So,
What
good
other
morning,
thing?
Bernice. How are you?
He says he loves pickles and he loves eggs. Don't feed me the other thing. What is that? The pickled eggs?
Salsa said you get pickled eggs in the fish and chip shops here.
Yeah, Italy is a bit different from the UK.
I don't think
So
I've ever had a pickled egg, and they sell it around here. They sell it. The pickled eggs are next to the pickled pig feet. So they sell pickled pig feet in here, and you go into the grocery stores, and it's like in some kind of red. The pickled pig's feet is red here.
oh, we get that not pickled, but we get them during Christmas. You get
Hmm.
the pork trotters, the stuffed ones. Practically, they take out the bones. They keep the skin. They
Hmm.
take the bones and then they stuff it with minced pork and
Oh,
spices.
Bernice, fresh apples sound amazing. I would love some fresh apples right now.
Zaza's getting sick with what we are talking about.
Hey, you don't waste any in the South, they don't waste anything,
My mom,
because in the South they eat chitterlings.
yeah,
I don't eat it, but they eat chitterlings in the South.
I wouldn't survive in the South.
Yeah, you would. There's a lot
No,
of good stuff. Yeah, and I'm saying you would because I never had Southern food till I moved to the South. Um, but
I eat,
there are a lot of good food. There's a lot of good food
I
in
would
the
eat
South.
anything.
there's a
Mhm.
lot of their food. No, you can't get me to try it.
There is
I
good food. Cornbread is good.
I love cornbread.
Well, that's a Southern thing. Collards are good. Greens
That's
are
not a
good.
Southern thing. We eat that up here. If
Greens
I
are
eat
good.
it up here, you can't say it's Southern.
And y'all eat lizards and gizzards all over the place. So
Oh,
that's
not
not,
me.
I don't eat it.
Mhm.
But
No, not me.
Mona, you missed everything.
Yeah, now we're talking about food again, Mona.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of good Southern food. There are just some things I personally do not like. But there's a lot of good, I mean, they eat steaks here. So, and they eat deer here. There's a lot of wild game here.
Yeah, I
I
eat deer.
Yeah.
I
I
don't
So
eat.
haven't for quite a few years, but
you would not starve. And some of the Southern food here is just called something else in other parts of the country. You know, chitterlings or chitlins are are just called something in other places of the country or the world because everybody eats them.
What
no,
is it?
this chick does not
It's
eat
an
it.
awful.
This chick does not
What
eat
is
it.
it?
It's an awful. It is pig intestine.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, this chick doesn't eat that stuff.
I eat that.
Yeah, you
No.
just Mike doesn't eat them. If you eat sausage and you eat natural casein, it's amazing
Ex
what it's made out of.
exactly. It's made out of intestines, cleaned properly, obviously, but
Yeah.
it's wonderful.
Oh, Andrea, the first time I ate cornbread dressing from, I don't know who made it, but she was from the north and she was a transplant to the south. And remember, I'm not from the south. She made some cornbread dressing and it was sweet cornbread dressing. And I'm like, no, 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 we do not put sugar in our cornbread here. We do not put sugar. You eat it hot with some butter made on a cast iron skillet.
Yeah, that's called tripe. Yeah, it's also here in Italy, Zaza. But that's the
Yeah.
stomach. Tripe is the stomach. The intestines is different.
Melanie, so your husband picked up some gizzards and lizards uh, with some fried okra.
Lizard
I
is a
love,
lizard.
yeah, that's what I call them,
Hi,
gizzards and
Mona.
lizards. I don't eat them, but my husband does. I do not eat Rocky Mountain oysters. No, thank you. Hard pass. Hard pass. Oh, Melanie has to have sweet cornbread. No, I don't want any sugar in my cornbread.
Yeah, there's no need for the
No,
sugar.
no, I don't want it in mine either.
Yeah, I want my butter melted on there to add the flavor and that little bit of sweetness that butter has. And then if you put that's how I like it.
Yesterday I saw a video just to change it. It's not changing completely the subject. If anyone has problems sleeping at night, you could try to make a kind of a tea with cloves and drink it. I saw a video about that.
Tea with cloves?
Yeah, you get 3 cloves, 6 cloves, and you boil it in water, and then you drink it with a bit of honey if you want, and before going to bed, and that should help you sleep.
It would also help with the toothache.
Yeah, it
So,
does. The
so if
yellow
you have
bottle,
denture problems or mouth problems or whatever, that would help.
they use
That would help
also
with your
cornbread as
toothache.
a mouthwash. Yeah, they use it as a mouthwash as well too for dental problems. It's pretty. I posted on my Facebook, so if
Hmm.
anyone watch it, it it's
Lisa Lisa Mosley said my grandmother's people have been in the South since before the Civil War. One grand put sugar in her cornbread. Yeah, I don't like I do not like sugar in my cornbread. Some people put it in here if they're just eating cornbread, but if you're gonna make a dressing with it, if you're gonna make cornbread dressing, I don't want sugar in that cornbread dressing at all.
Mona, oysters are supposed to be eaten raw, fresh, still alive. Poor things.
And Sharon, I had scrapple when we lived in Pennsylvania. That was a big thing. And they have a thing here in the South that they call Brunswick stew. And, they're using, again, pieces of, they're not wasting anything, but that's using the pig's head. You can walk into a grocery store over here and buy a pig head.
Well,
Extra butter. Extra
I
butter.
like if I don't know if it'll gross people out, but I like to eat
The what?
the brain of the animal.
I don't think I've ever had it, but I can't say that I wouldn't try it if I didn't know what it is. I'm kind of funny with my food.
It's very similar to the marrow of the bones.
Hmm.
It's similar, but it's
Sharon,
thin.
you just use the pork roast. See, that's how I would make my Brunswick stew. But if you go around here, they actually use the pig head. They boil the pig head, and so I have to ask how do they make it? Did they make it with the pork roast? What did they make it with? So you can't buy that here. Well, they sell pig heads. You can walk into a store and buy pig heads. Head cheese is made of pig head. Oh, that's interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
No, 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 Mike. Mike, are we making you sick this morning?
Well, the animal, if you're gonna kill it, use the whole thing, right?
Hmm.
No, as you said, no waste. That's why even people are against leather shoes and leather bags. But if you're killing a cow to eat, why throw away the leather? Make it into a pair of shoes or a bag or whatever. So I'm all for using everything of the animal if you have to.
Mike is like, pass the broccoli, please. Yeah, I think if I'm the same way, I don't like waste. And that's why I do not like game hunters. People that just go and hunt for game. If you're going to take the life of an animal, then it needs to be for sustenance, not for a trophy on your wall.
Exactly. That is true.
Oh, Andrew wants to know if Zaza's ready to beat Becca this morning.
I
Joe
hope
needs
so.
more coffee.
Zaza,
Dude?
the brain in Indiana Jones was raw, and what I do is I cook mine, I boil it.
So you
And
boil your monkey brain?
well, it's not monkey,
Ew.
it's cow brain, but
You boil your monkey
yeah,
brain.
yeah, I boil it.
Zaza, you're very smart, so don't.
Zaza, you will win. We're all for you, you know.
If there's no music categories, you got this.
Yeah, you're very smart.
Because Becca's
Zaza
Becca's
is
pretty
very smart.
Becca's pretty good on that music category.
Yeah. I had to opt out of that because I could not do Zoom that the second Sunday. I could come on lives,
Mm-hmm.
text, but I could not Zoom because I didn't have enough. Not the internet; it's the battery power of my phone. So I had to give up.
Mm.
And I was anyway. I only had 5 points that day, so they out.
Zaza needs to sign up for Jeopardy or something.
Yeah.
Just don't be one of those really rude, cocky Jeopardy contestants. Oh, some
Yeah,
of them are just so ugly.
there is that problem because a lot of those questions are American-based questions from the US.
Mike says Zaza remembers she sleeps through the first 10 minutes. Yeah, as long as Zaza, as long as it's not 100% in music, you got this. You got this. I'll have to remember to listen in. I actually forgot today was the finals. Oh, those catch and release fishing programs drive me crazy. I love fishing. Throwing those whoppers is nuts. Man, my husband and I used to go, and he used to work out on a farm for a while. And the farm had several big ponds, and we would go to the pond. And I do not eat freshwater fish. I eat saltwater fish, but because that's what I grew up with. I do not like freshwater fish, but my husband is a freshwater fish eater. We used to catch the biggest catfish in that thing, and we would release it. I mean, if you can catch a catfish with hot dogs, it's not worth eating. We
Take
used
care,
to throw.
Jim.
Huh?
Bye, Jim.
Bye, Jim.
I said bye to Jim.
Bye,
No,
Jim.
We were making him hungry.
Yeah, we used to, and I don't like catfish because I don't like the sliminess of the catfish. So, touching it, so I will not clean a catfish either. I want my fish to have scales on it.
When I was a kid, we used to go fishing, and we would get a lot of bass and tilapia, which is all water fish. And I was the designated cleaner of the fish. I have a photo of me sitting at the fountain of my mom's house cleaning fish.
Yeah, I don't mind cleaning the fish. I'm not really big. I don't like the way catfish feel because they get a slimy layer when you put it in a bucket, to wherever you're taking it to clean. They just get a slimy fish.
Mm.
Oh, Bernice, your husband uses chicken liver for catfish? I used to like catfish, and then I was in the Ozarks once, and I had some mud cat, and that mud cat was so mushy. I mean, the texture of it and everything was off, that after that, it just really turned me off from, but from freshwater fish. But my husband likes catfish, but he likes the smaller catfish when they're small. Once he doesn't like it when it gets really, really big. Mike doesn't like fish either. Mike, what
Do
is
you eat
going
salmon?
on? What is going on?
Lisa,
Freshwater cat.
do you eat salmon?
No, first catfish do not have scales. I like fish with scales. So if it has scales, like I really don't care for shark. Um,
I've eaten that in the
yeah,
Seychelles.
I've had shark. I'm not a really big shark fan. Um,
My mom, when we went to the Seychelles, I was 9 years old. That's in
mhm,
1960. She bought turtle, seawater turtle, and they
mhm.
ate, and I refused to eat it. Just thinking of that poor animal, I refused.
I've been watching these little shorts on YouTube and where they take the barnacles off big sea turtles. I've been watching these videos
Oh
of
yeah,
people
because
popping the barnacles off and saving the turtles.
because they get heavy, then they can't come up to breathe
Mhm.
because they breathe air. They
Yeah,
live in the water.
catfish do not have scales, and I think that's why I do not eat them.
I love
Gator,
catfish. It's my favorite fish.
my husband loves catfish. I do not like cleaning it. I do not like the slime from catfish.
I like Nile perch. It comes from obviously the Nile, the
Mhm.
area in East Africa, and it's a white fish. It's got no bones in it, nothing, because it's got one big spine bone, and the smaller bones. There are very few of them, and it's a huge fish. That fish is huge, so it can be
Andrew
eaten.
will eat anything that will not eat her first. Mike said he's gonna have a nice crispy garden salad for lunch. But yeah, my husband, because you get all you can eat catfish here, so he loves good hot catfish, right after it's been fried. He loves catfish. It's just not my thing to eat.
How dare
So
people?
what you working on? What are you making a mess of, Deb?
I was trying to hold it up to show you, but it fell on
Yeah,
me.
Andrea, I have not seen that new pattern yet. The only thing I watched yesterday, because I was so tired when I got home, the only thing I watched was Rob's Quilting in the Man Cave. He had a little 10-minute short or something, doing an update on his hurricane damage and everything else.
yeah. I've been watching Leah Louise, all her shorts.
Yeah, she said she got a generator, so that's good, and that they're supposed to be tarping her house. They're supposed to come in and get that tree off her
Get rid of
house.
that tree. Yeah.
And the funniest thing was the birds that were living in the tree. And her she was sure when she said something about the birds. Okay, let me make it big. Hold on. Let me find you. Don't drop it.
I'm barely tipping it now.
Okay.
This is a bunch of 2.5 squares that I bought off of my fabric addiction.
Mm-hmm.
And I separated them.
Into colors.
I don't know which way to go with the camera. There we go.
We can see you.
Yeah, we can see
I'm
it.
going to sew them together so I can make a bag out of them.
You've got more than one bag there. Definitely.
So I was just sitting here and I was separating them and I'm like, oh.
Oh, that reminds me. I'm looking over here and I see Joyce asking Judy Herbert, what did you think of the panel? I bought that panel and that you showed the other day, the Hoffman panel, and my panel does not look like your panel. My panel is a flower. It has nothing else. It does not look the same. I'm a little disappointed.
Can you show it to us?
I think I put it up already because I got disappointed, so I threw it in my panel bin. You know, because some of us have a panel bin. We have a bin for panels we're never going to use. Did you hear me, Deb?
Yeah.
She's looking for things that that fell.
Yeah, I'm looking to make sure I didn't drop any more.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
So I was a little.
Very busy.
Andrew, you brought fabric. I did not watch anybody's lives yesterday. Anybody's.
I
We
watched
were.
Katie's.
Yeah,
I
watched
did
the
not.
replay.
I did not
There
watch
was
anybody's
William
live.
as a pineapple. William was dressed as a pineapple. That
Yeah.
was funny.
I didn't watch anybody's live. I was awake early. And we were supposed to have left at 8 o'clock. We didn't leave until a little after 9. And I forgot what it's like getting 3 kids ready to go anywhere. And my daughter. So it was like getting 4 kids ready to go. So yeah, we left late. And I was so tired that I didn't watch any.
Yeah, just getting them ready makes you tired.
Bernice, I've seen people cut up fabric. Just have panels. Sometimes I buy panels and then sometimes I use it, and sometimes I'm lucky and I will get find like some yardage that will go. Andrew bought some fabric, or the vet quilt she's making is from some fabric from my fabric addiction. Oh, Judy, you have a headache? I'm so sorry.
You're looking at different chats, aren't you?
Deb is streaming live to her channel. When Deb comes on my channel, she streams live so she can get watch hours. Unless you are looking at the comments from the StreamYard, you're only going to see my chat on YouTube. So
I have the phone.
In StreamYard, you get to see both of them.
Yeah, if StreamYard, you can see the comments from both channels. But you have to go to that comment box up on the right.
Yeah.
If you go to the comment box, it will bring up all the comments.
Yeah, okay. I see it now.
Yeah, and then you can see the comments from everybody's channel.
But the thing is, I can't see you guys anymore because in the tablet it's covering the.
Oh.
Oh.
I don't use the tablet.
Mm-hmm.
Deb, are you just now talking about cornbread? That was a half an hour ago. We move on.
Well, I was messing with my 2.5-inch squares, and I'm like, I gotta tell them that I like the jalapenos in the cornbread.
Oh, that's another thing I love. Chilies. Oh,
I like
have
chili.
a chili plant. I have a chili plant. You know those tiny ones?
Mm-hmm.
I got it. The seeds. I got it from Kenya,
Mm-hmm.
and I had one that lasted 25 years, and another one. The baby of that is already 10 years old. And I put it in every winter. I put it in. It's a huge pot. I put it in the house in my bedroom, and then I take it out in the spring. And I love them.
Growing up, we used to have a Thai chili plant in the backyard. My dad had the greenest thumb. He could grow anything. I did not inherit that, but my dad could grow anything. But as a child, I would walk out to the chili plant and just eat the chili right off the tree. The plant, I would just pick it and eat it once it hit a certain color. I didn't like the red ones, but I used to get it when it was yellow before it went red, and I would just eat the chili. I can't do that anymore.
It's a matter of habit.
Yeah.
Your mouth gets used to the flavor.
It's a matter of stomach. My stomach can't handle all the chilies anymore.
Wait, apparently chilies are very good for your intestines, differently from the stomach. It helps repair parts of the intestines.
But I used to love those little tiny chilies. Oh my gosh. Just walk out there and eat it. But then I used to just walk out in the yard and pick an orange or a mango and eat it off the plants too. And
So long as it doesn't have
guava.
yeah,
Huh?
so long as it doesn't have any poison on it, it's okay.
Well, we know everything was natural. My dad didn't fertilize anything. It just grew as it grew. That's why I said my dad had the greenest thumb because we never had to use any pesticides or anything in our backyard on our fruit trees or anything. They would just grow for him.
A good
And so you,
pesticide is garlic. Garlic is a very good pesticide for plants.
Zaza, when you're a child and you live in that environment, you take for granted it's always going to be there. I really miss being able to just walk out of my backyard and pull fresh fruit and everything from the backyard.
Hello again.
Those fresh avocados. I just miss it.
Oh, those I miss. I miss those. My mom had 5 avocado trees, different species, and they
Mhm.
would flower in 5 different times of the year. So
Mhm.
you have avocado full time every single day. You would have ripe avocados. The dogs used to get fat because we couldn't harvest all of them,
Mhm.
so a lot of them would fall, and the dogs used to love it. They would eat them.
The avocado tree that we had in our backyard was seasonal, and mangoes are seasonal, but the bananas was all year long as you had several different banana plants.
Yeah,
And then
because the
we
banana plant can give only one hand of bananas, and
And
then
then we had a lot of tea leaves in our yard. Not, it's not tea, but we had a lot of tea leaves in our yard that you could go and pull the tea leaves, and it works much like the banana leaves, where you could smoke fish and other things in it, wrap it in the banana leaf or the tea leaf. So I miss all that because here in where I live in Georgia, it is a small growing season. It just gets too hot. The plants burn after a while.
yeah.
And we're talking about I have not purchased from My Fabric Addiction yet.
Oh my gosh. She has layer cakes for $34.99 all the time. Same thing with jelly rolls.
And scrap bags.
She has 5-inch squares. She has charm packs that are like 96 of them for $13.50. These are some of her 5-inch squares. I got yellow and blue, and look, they're thick.
Wow.
Mike, rats, is that the only thing growing in your neighborhood is rats? I did see a report where the rat population was down in New York City. Lots of different cuts in the mystery bag. I start my
Yep.
garden here in Andrea says she starts her garden here in February. We're still weed. My God.
Sometimes I get
I
layer
believe
cakes in there, sometimes charm squares. I get lots of 2.5-inch squares. I get lots of 3-inch squares and 4-inch squares.
So I am going to
yeah,
focus on I am focusing on buying yardage. The only time I'm going to buy a fat quarter it is if I get a bundle from a particular line, but I'm really going to focus on just getting yardage.
Mike says the only
Wacky
thing that
tobacco.
that
Some pakalolo. That's what they call it in Hawaii. Get some pakalolo.
You tiny condoms.
yeah.
Mike, you're so funny. Man, when I lived in Bermuda, they had a big Jamaican community, and they had a lot of Rastafarians in there. It was a big reggae scene. There was a lot of reggae bars in Bermuda when I lived there. They actually have the nerve to use thermal infrared cameras on helicopters.
I
They
can
have
see why they don't want people to grow weed, because it's one of the plants that is most versatile. Sorry, what came out wrong. Than anything else, apart from the smoking of it. But the plant itself, you
hmm
can make you can make you can make material out of it. You can make fabric. You can make so many things from that plant, and they don't want they I don't know, they demonized it too bad.
Well, I don't. I think if we were still in the horse and buggy type of situation, it might not be so bad. But you can't go smoking it and drive and just kill people on the road. I think that's why it was,
Well, people drink alcohol and drive and kill people on the road, and it's worse.
which is illegal too. I mean, you can get
But
prosecuted
but
for that.
but booze is not illegal. See, that's the
No.
thing. So it's the same thing. If you want to make one thing illegal, you should make the other one as well.
hmm
Because personally, I think marijuana is less damaging than alcohol.
I don't know. I don't drink. I don't drink or do weed, so I don't
Well, I don't
know.
either. I don't smoke anything. I've never smoked, and I stopped drinking when I was 29. So
Reggae music can be really good, Joy T. But yeah, back we used to enjoy going into the bars back then. The reggae music was really, really nice. Not so much into it now. I kind of like opera.
yeah, Mike.
Big Pharma are responsible for, yes.
Not only Zaza, because I saw a documentary about when they demonized the marijuana plant. It's because of a big wood company, a lumber company, and also the petroleum company, because you can make plastic out of cannabis, not cannabis, about marijuana, the plant, and it is stronger than the plastic out of petroleum, and it is less damaging to the environment. But they got together and they made it become illegal. It's very interesting to see that documentary.
Hi, Liana. So, yeah, Mona, it was really different back in our day, wasn't it? I mean, it's not the watered down, it's not the watered down, and sometimes I
No.
wonder what has been chemically modified in the version that they're growing now, because what you found in the mountains in Hawaii was sure different than what, again, never done it, never plan. I do not at this point in my life plan on doing it, but I need to be in control. I can't cut loose. I need to be in control.
I don't even want to take my blood pressure pill, but I have to. So I don't take anything.
You're on your way home? Yeah, I'm fixing to get off of here. I have to, I think my husband, I don't know what my husband, I don't know what I'm planning on doing. I'm going to work on doing some of these kennel quits to send for Rob and look at some other things and cook, but I'm probably not gonna cook anything.
Mike says he doesn't inhale.
Uh-huh.
Okay, Bill. Wasn't it Bill Clinton that used to say that?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mona, I agree with you. A lot of everything in the USA is full of chemicals. They actually get rid of the stuff that has healed people for centuries and said, "Oh, our product is better," and our everything in those products are actually killing people. Deb rolls her eyes. But I'm fixing to get off of here. We're fixing to get off. Zaza has to prepare. She has to prepare. She has to
Yes.
get in the frame of
She has
mind.
to get in the frame of mind because we're all back in
Very
Zaza.
strong tea, very strong tea, because I know you don't drink coffee. A very nice strong tea, so you keep yourself awake.
We're on Team Z. We are on Team Z. So she is going to win. But we are going to get. Sometimes we just get to talking. Sometimes I just got a motor mouth. I just keep talking. Look at that. So lonely. I just keep talking and talking.
Yeah. We're a captive audience.
Thanks, Rebecca, for joining us.
You know, I'm just teasing you.
What about my talking? Oh, I know when I
Yeah.
babble. I know when I babble. But when I'm sewing, I can't babble. So you have to have my full attention for me to babble.
Oh, I know. Rebecca, I'm really glad you stopped in. I watch you from time to time.
And I'm not promoting.
There's just so many channels you can't watch everybody. Even on replays, you cannot watch everybody. So yeah, I miss out on a lot, but I do watch these channels.
Yeah. Thank you, Leanna. I'm hoping to have it applique on there to actually do the applique portion, sewing the out this week, and then sewing everything together and putting the border on it.
How are you going
Mike
to
says the chat box is his happy place.
Sometimes Mike gets a little cray in them chats.
A little?
Yeah, when you watch him on everybody's chats, he's just so funny.
Yeah.
But I am getting ready to go, so you all grab your coffee, get ready to support Zaza. Even leave a comment of support when you get to Donna's. Just let her know that you're there. Oh, no. Just let her know that you're there and supporting her. Zaza, got nothing but love for you. So I'm gonna support you. You're gonna win. And we are going to say goodbye, everybody in Florida. that is bracing for this tropical storm or whatever later this week. I pray for y'all. Let me know if you need anything. You might say, get the coffee. Get the coffee.
The coffee.
But we will see you if you have a chance. Stop by the Build a Quilt series tomorrow night. And if not, I will see you in the chat somewhere. So you all have a good night or good day, good Sunday. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.